Welcome to Herbtech Talk, your source for all things cannabis. And today I have Kat Connolly from Green Meadows Farm. How you doing today, Kat?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Kat, we've been speaking for a while now, and you have a lot of insight on the cannabis industry because you are currently a manager at the Green Meadows, correct?
That is correct. I've been in the industry for a few years now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you have a very interesting background because you were in anthropology before. How did you transition from anthropology into the cannabis industry?
Yeah, so I went to college to study anthropology, and my passion for that was just studying humanity and studying different cultures and just really trying to expose myself to everybody and everything that's out there. So after I did that, I've always been in love with natural healing, herbology, just different ways to heal yourself that's outside of the pharmaceutical industry. So I went into massage, and that was kind of like my first career outside of college. And I loved it. I loved helping people learn how to help themselves. And then I got into the cannabis industry. And for me, it was a very natural transition because the cannabis plant, it is medicine. Anybody that's using it, whether they think they're using it recreationally or they're specifically using it medically, they're going to get medicinal benefit from it. So I think it just started with, my love of people, my love of cultures. There's so many different kinds of people in the cannabis industry, whether they're patients, consumers, or just, the team that I build and work with. It's just really exciting. And I help a lot of people every day, and I love it.
Absolutely. And you have a really beautiful team. We met Anthony the other day, and Anthony's awesome. And
yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Given your experience working in cannabis, what do you believe some common practices that all dispensary managers should implement in their operations?
Yeah, so in terms of just operations, I think one of the most important things is really understanding your transaction.
Okay.
So when you have a customer come in, what are the steps that your budtenders are taking from checking their ID, greeting them? Are there points that you want them to address, whether you have like an insiders club or a loyalty program, how they're handling the products from wherever they're stored behind your counter to the register, how they're verifying what's going into the system and then going out the door. That helps with inventory control. In Massachusetts, we're very, very regulated, and
Absolutely.
We really have no room for missing product or anything like that. So you really need to make sure that the technical aspect of those products leaving the building is on point. But it also comes down to customer service, because if you have a customer that transaction was handled improperly, you're going to have double scans. So somebody's going to get charged for something that they didn't actually get in their bag, or they're going to get a product that maybe wasn't scanned in. So it's really just making sure that they're leaving with the products that they want to, for their sake and for ours. So just in terms of operation, really understanding that transaction, I think, is super important.
So order accuracy is very important to you.
Yes. Yeah. And that leads all the way back to inventory accuracy. And that's one of the most important things. And this, on top of that, is just understanding if something does go wrong, where do you find it? How do you troubleshoot it? Understanding those steps from the beginning will really save you a lot of time and energy. So I think that's probably the most important thing that I would have for any dispensary manager.
So you're a manager. I'm in management as well. I know how it gets. You probably have a lot of people you have to manage. So my question for you is, who's the ideal bud tender? What qualities do they have to possess to have a good customer experience for the customers and be the ideal bud tender?
For one, loving cannabis.
Okay.
I think,
that's a must. That's a must.
Yeah, that's a must. You don't have to be a cannabis consumer. I was a manager at a medical dispensary and did not consume cannabis during that time. And I was very successful. I had really great rapport with our patients and with my team. So you don't have to use it, but you have to just have that underlying passion for and understand the impact that it does have on people. But outside of that, being adaptable, being flexible, being able to just roll as things change, procedures change, regulations change, and being able to just say, okay, I did it this way yesterday, today it's going to be different, and just go with it. People, if you get hung up on just like the finer details, it can be very, very stressful for an agent. But also just having just the passion of wanting to help people, I think is really important. It makes a really great budtender. And then just being able to work and thrive in just a fast-paced, somewhat stressful environment, I find people to be really successful in.
Absolutely. And that's one of our goals here at Herbtech Talk, is to share insight and experience from you to help other budtenders or upcoming budtenders who are coming in the industry, and they can learn this vital information on how to be successful in that career. And one last question before I let you go. What would you say is the biggest challenges you face in Massachusetts cannabis industry?
I would say probably one of the biggest challenges is just that there really is no room for error. We need to be on point. We need to be able to track everything inside and out. And because it is such a booming industry, sometimes just the simple fact of hiring can be really challenging. I find that when I have a team that I have enough people on, they're happier, they feel less pressure, they're less stressed. But, as we get busier and busier and busier, and you need more agents, they tend to feel stressed because it's like, okay, I have to be quick. I have to get, in and out, see the next person, but I also have to be accurate. So I think just the amount of time it takes to hire really good candidates can be challenging, but also just the restrictions. If you work in any other retail environment, you don't have these types of regulations. So it can just be really hard on people that don't really know what they're getting into.
Absolutely. And where can they find Green Meadows?
We are in Southbridge on 64 Mill Street.
That's awesome.
So we're renovating the building here. We're a little hidey hole right now, but inside the dispensary is absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely. And ask for Kat when you go visit, okay? Hey, thank you very much for showing up. Our goal here is not just to share insight, but also to get those challenges and try to solve them with our solutions here at Herbtech. Thank you very much, Kat, and have a blessed day, okay?
Thank you as well.